He walked into the woods with his family, a 6-year-old boy, happy, laughing, just playing hide and seek. And within 60 seconds, he vanished. Hundreds of trained searchers, helicopters, tracking dogs. Nothing. Not a trace. Not a footprint. It's been over 50 years, and he's still gone. But here's the thing. He's not the only one. Every year, hundreds vanish from U.S. national parks under chillingly similar circumstances. And what's even weirder, the government won't talk about it. This isn't just a conspiracy. This is real. And once you hear what's really going on, you may never walk into the woods the same way again. Part 1. The first known disappearances. Disappearances inside U.S. national parks aren't a new mystery. They go back over 100 years. And one of the earliest and most disturbing cases is still unsolved today. In June of 1969, 6-year-old Dennis Martin was enjoying a Father's Day trip with his family in the Great Smoky Mountains. They were playing a simple game of hide and seek. Dennis ran behind a bush and never came out. Within minutes, his father realized he was missing. What followed was one of the largest search and rescue operations in U.S. history. Over 1,400 people searched day and night. Rangers, Green Berets, even psychics. Helicopters flew overhead. Dogs sniffed every trail, but not a single trace was found. No clothing, no blood, no footprints. To this day, Dennis Martin is still missing, and there's something truly disturbing about how quickly he vanished, like he was swallowed by the forest itself. Part 2. The pattern nobody talks about. Dennis Martin's case isn't just a tragic one-time event. Across the United States, more and more families have come forward, each with their own chilling story. And the strangest part, many of these disappearances follow a bizarre and consistent pattern. People vanish near boulder fields, bodies of water, or dense forest areas. Often, it happens just moments after they fall behind the group, even by a few steps. And when the bodies are found, if they're found, they're in places already searched dozens of times. Or even worse, places that seem physically impossible to reach. Shoes are neatly placed side by side. Clothes are removed with no explanation. And despite extensive autopsies, no cause of death. It's as if something or someone took them and then put them back, like a sick game. Part 3. The David Paulides investigation. One man decided to dig deeper into these disappearances. His name is David Paulides, a former police detective turned investigative researcher. What he discovered was shocking. He began collecting hundreds of cases that shared similar bizarre details. The missing were often experienced hikers, hunters, even park rangers. No history of mental illness, no reason to run. And yet, they vanished into thin air. Paulides found that in nearly every case, the official reports were vague. Details were left out. Timelines didn't add up. And the most disturbing part? The National Park Service refused to release a list of the missing. They claimed they didn't keep one. A federal agency with no database of who disappeared in their parks? That wasn't just strange, it was terrifying. Part 4. The bizarre clues left behind. One of the strangest parts of these cases is what gets left behind. Shoes found miles away from the body, clothes removed in freezing temperatures, without signs of struggle. Children's bodies discovered in areas no child could physically reach, and some of the recovered bodies show no trauma, no injuries, no cause of death, as if they simply stopped being alive. Even search dogs act strangely. They follow a scent and then suddenly stop, as if the trail just disappears into thin air. Seasoned trackers say it's unlike anything they've seen. No broken branches, no signs of panic, just nothing. Almost like the person was lifted off the ground and carried away. Whatever is happening in these forests, it doesn't follow the rules of nature. And maybe it never did. Part 5. What are we dealing with? After studying hundreds of these cases, one terrifying question keeps coming up. What exactly are we dealing with here? Wild animals? Unlikely. Most victims show no signs of attack, and many disappear without a single scream or struggle. Serial killers? Again, doubtful. These incidents span decades, across dozens of states, with no clear connection. Could it be natural causes? Exposure? Getting lost? That's what officials often say. But it doesn't explain the shoes placed neatly miles away, or the children's bodies found uphill in areas they physically couldn't reach. It doesn't explain why experienced hikers vanish just a few steps behind their group, or why no one ever hears a thing. Some believe these are just tragic accidents. Others aren't so sure, because the deeper you go, the less it feels like a coincidence, and the more it feels like something is watching. Part 6. The pattern. No one can explain. Across all these strange disappearances, a disturbing pattern begins to emerge. Many victims vanish near boulder fields, dense forests, or bodies of water. Some disappear right after a storm, as if something uses the chaos to move undetected. Others are last seen near berry bushes. Yes, berry bushes. It seems random, until you see how often it repeats. Even more bizarre, search efforts are often delayed without explanation, and when they begin, they sometimes ignore the very places where victims are later found. It's almost as if someone, or something, wants them to stay missing. One expert called it a pattern without logic. But maybe there is a logic, just not one we understand. Part 7. What the witnesses saw. Not everyone vanishes without a witness. Some survivors and nearby hikers have come forward with stories that are hard to explain. One man said he saw a child walking into the woods, following someone, but there was no one there. Another claimed to hear voices calling their name over and over, but no one else heard a thing. Several report something tall, grayish, and moving too fast to be human. Some describe feeling watched, not just paranoia, but a heavy, chilling presence. One woman swore she saw her missing friend, standing still, deep in the woods. But when she approached, they simply vanished. These aren't random ghost stories. They come from former rangers, veteran hikers, even law enforcement, and they all say the same thing. Whatever this is, it's not normal. Part 8. The cases that were covered up. Some of the most chilling stories never made the news. In fact, they were actively hidden. Park rangers have admitted they were told not to speak to the media about certain disappearances. Reports have vanished from public databases. In one case, a search team claimed they found evidence, but it was confiscated and never seen again. There are stories of officials shutting down trails, giving vague explanations, and then quietly reopening them weeks later. Families of the missing say they're met with silence or pressure to stop asking questions. Some have even been warned to let it go or else. When FOIA requests are filed for missing person records, the responses are often redacted or completely denied. It raises a haunting question. If there's nothing to hide, why are they trying so hard to hide it? Part 9. Missing 411. The Silent Files. Former police detective David Paulides began digging into these disappearances after noticing a pattern no one else seemed willing to talk about. He called it Missing 411. Hundreds of strange vanishings, all in U.S. national parks, with similar traits. He found cases where search dogs refused to track, others where bodies were found in places that had already been searched multiple times. In some cases, the missing person's clothes were found folded neatly, far from where they vanished, or their shoes clean and dry, in areas where mud was unavoidable. Paulides asked the National Park Service for a list of missing persons. They said they didn't have one. He filed Freedom of Information requests. They stalled, delayed, and finally refused. Why would they hide data about missing hikers, unless they were hiding something much bigger? Part 10. The Final Pattern. What no one can explain. When Paulides mapped out the disappearances, something unexpected emerged. Clusters. People weren't vanishing randomly. They were disappearing in specific, repeating locations. And here's the strangest part. Many of these clusters lined up perfectly with ancient cave systems across the U.S. caves that go deep underground, places that haven't been fully explored. Some believe these areas are natural traps. Others think something might be living there, something watching, waiting. And then there are the Native American legends, stories of beings from beneath the earth. that take people. Now, these stories are hundreds of years old, but they line up eerily well with modern disappearances. Coincidence? Or have people always known something we've chosen to ignore? What do you believe? Hundreds missing, dozens of patterns, and a wall of silence from those in charge. So maybe the real question isn't, where did they go? Maybe it's, why aren't we allowed to ask? If this shook you, you're not alone. There's a lot more beneath the surface. More cases, more secrets, and we're just getting started. So, what do you believe? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe, because the next mystery might be even closer than you think.